Okay, hey guys. So obviously things like that, you would want to address bees nest up underneath your um, front porch roof. The railing here, iron railing here, looks to be in fairly good shape. The front door appears to be in fairly good shape as well. I know you were concerned about the inlet above the door. Without looking at the picture, sorry about my ums. There does appear to be a hole above that, so that would need to be fixed. So I don't know if they could replace the wood here to fill in that gap, or what would need to be done there, but that would definitely be a concern. And it looks like they cut, it looks like they cut this white piece here to fit that. And so the living room, let me kind of back up, and you will kind of see around here. So you got two fairly new windows, some shelving there. Obviously you have a wood stove, so they have wood there for you, and then the wood stove. I think, if I recall, that you were concerned about some of these dark spots on the floor here. And if I had to guess, because it's in front of the wood stove, is that the hot ambers from the stove, when they open the stove to add wood, or cleaning out the stove and stuff, has probably gotten on the floor and potentially caused some burning stains there. Of course, that is the fireplace. I know the ceiling in this room was on your list, wanting to know about if the ceiling was joined together. And I'm thinking that hang on guys. I'm thinking that this is decorative. It has nothing to do other than they put this up for a decorative look. That all of this can be taken down, to be honest with you. And I'm not sure why they scattered these the way that they did, other than, again, I think to make it look decorative. But that is appears to be sheetrock ceiling, so with a decorative look. And then I do know over here there was a dark spot on the floor. I think that was one of your concerns as well. And it does not appear to be moisture. So I don't 100%, I'm not sure what that is without it being further looked into. And then there was another spot here. And that's kind of more in the middle. So I just don't know if it's wear and tear of the floor, that just never, like if the floors could be sanded and re-stained type thing. So then you have a little closet under the back of the stairs for some storage. Oops. If you come in here, I'm going to guess that they're considering this a bedroom off of the living room. You have your electrical panel behind this wall thing here in the bedroom. Again, opens up into the electrical panel. Then you have electrical panel box. You have a closet behind the door. So you have I know it's kind of dark, sorry, but you do have a closet. And then you have a full bath off of this bedroom. So you have this sink, vanity, tile floor. You have a tub shower combination. As I know here was on your list. So this, sorry guys. So this here was, I know it was on your list of concerns, and to be honest with you, it just looks like it didn't get properly nailed back into place and properly sealed up here. So this is in the bathroom. And then I know that this over here was of your concern, and where the brick is meeting, and it just looks like, again, they didn't properly put sealant, like caulk sealant in there to do a full thing there for you guys. And then if you come here, they've added on a little, looks like they closed in the porch here and made it another little area with carpet. I can tell you from the carpet standpoint, it's old, dated, with stains. So I'm not sure if they did any professional cleaning to the carpet before. And then this one has two different types of ceilings. Again, it's got that ceiling that looks like drop ceiling that's not drop ceiling. I'll get you the correct name for. And then it's got this wood ceiling over here. So if you wanted to make your ceiling level and match, you could potentially bring that over. So I'm not sure why they dropped it down like that for you guys. Above this door, I think that was on your list. It's just the way the door is. There's a little leverage here, and it doesn't appear, other than the framing comes out, but the board is there, or they might have actually cut the board above that door jamb to fit that there. So and then back here is a half bath off of that little room, and you have a little glass area above the door. So again, you have a little half bath area here. This door goes out to the exterior, and you have another little deck back here. So, and again, you got bees nest that will have to be addressed. It's got oil heat So there's your oil tank on the back. That would be your crawl space under the house. So. And then you have the laundry room here. So it would come with this washer and dryer. See, you have a laundry room. And then you have more or less like a utility room back here. That goes to your hot water heater. And then you do have stairs. I'll go down there for you momentarily. That does lead down to the basement that they said didn't exist. So you do have a basement. And then off the laundry room, you have a nice storage area again. Sorry, I keep putting the paper in front of the camera. I'm sorry. So then off of that room, guys, come back and you have the kitchen area here. I can tell you, it's got wood slat ceilings. So what immediately jumped out when I entered this room, I don't know if you can tell or not, but there's water standing on the floor. So obviously that would automatically trigger me to call the listing agent at the end of this and let him know that they got some type of leak in the kitchen. So we would obviously be concerned of that and want that to be addressed if this is a property that you want to move forward. And it is coming from above, because I can see on the ceiling where the water is dripping from the ceiling down into the kitchen. So for appliances, it has no stove. So you would be responsible for getting an electric stove, or we would have to work that into the contract for the sellers to provide you with electric stove, and then dishwasher. And then obviously you have no refrigerator, so we would want to also work that into the contract, that we would want a refrigerator if that's something that y'all were concerned about, or you would be responsible for getting a refrigerator. And then this little room was where I first came into here, like a little sunroom / dining room, whatever you want to use it for. So now going upstairs to the front. So this is obviously your stairs leading up. So immediately to the left is obviously a bedroom. So you have a pretty decent sized closet here. And then with some shelves there. The dark spots in the floor and here are just part of the grain of the wood, like little knots of wood in the wood grain. So this would be your little hallway So then over here is another bedroom. So again, you got that ceiling type up here as well. And then you have a closet here. And as you come back here, I guess becomes, again, another master, is that you would have closets back here. And then one over here. Looking out through the bedroom. And then you come in here, kind of like a little dressing area with more closets. Into a full bath with sink, toilet, and a shower only area. And I'm not sure from up here where water would be leaking down into the kitchen. So that's the upstairs. Let me go. So one thing that they wanted me to share with you was that the upstairs has air conditioning piped through the HVAC system. The downstairs does not have HVAC system. They could install HVAC system for you. It's about a $4,000 expense. So that would be something else to keep in mind. If this was a property that you wanted to put an offer in on, is that it does not have HVAC in the downstairs. So that would be something else that we would want to keep in consideration. So let me go down your questions here. So the tree we discussed, the discoloration we discussed, the gap above the door inlet. Again, I think you're referring to this door, and again, I think that's where the ceiling came down and the roof is there. I don't see any other gaps up in the inlets above the doors. Unless, again, it's this one here. And I think that's, again, just the wood's there, and this part here comes out further than this. So if I come over from this angle, you can probably see how it sticks out, and just making that look like there's a gap there. Bead gap. So that would be this room that has the bead gap. You're concerned about the gap under the window, and I think honestly that was just a horrible picture, because as I'm looking under the windows, I really don't. I did see the picture, so I do know what you were referencing. And I don't see that now that I'm here, present. I don't see a gap in the beadboard. So I think that either that was just a terrible picture or that issue has since been addressed. And if I stand back and look in across that, I don't see it. And if I stand at the door looking back along the wall, I don't see it. So I don't think any other house has beadboard in it, to be honest. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Nope, wrong room. So I do see that now that this bedroom has it. So yes, I do see it now. So this is the gap here. So it's in the what I would consider the bedroom downstairs with the bathroom off of it. It's that area right there. And to be honest with you, it just looks like like that piece of beadboard is bowed. So it's got like little waves in it. So that's probably something that will need to be replaced either by the seller or by you when you, if you purchase the property. So I would add that to the list of concerns that you have, for sure. So continuing down your list. Again, about the ceiling joists, I just really think those are only for decorative purposes only. But I will get you more information on that to confirm that I am correct in my thought on that. And that it's nothing more than that. The panel material, I'll get you an answer on. I did not see the discoloration to the door. That looks like it was possibly dog urine. So let me find that door because I don't remember that immediately jumping out at me. And again, I do remember seeing the picture, so I know 100% what you were referencing in reference to that. And the other thing, guys, I have not went to the apartment side, so that could be in the apartment when I go over there. As for window streaking for the house, I don't see any window streaking. Again, I did see it in the pictures, so I know what you're referencing. I don't see any here in the house where there's condensation on the windows with the window streaking. So again, I will look for that in the apartment above the garage because that could very well be where that is taking place and see what we can figure out there for you. But as for the house, I did not see any streaking of the windows when walking through. And then let me go out because your last question deals with outside with the possible grilling. So guys, when I walk around the exterior, so I mean, I'm honestly the siding, other than in the front, the siding looks pretty good. Other than the front, there is one place here that they patched up here on the side. Next to the coax, and that was probably, to be honest with you, they had some coax cable going through there that had got pulled out and that they fixed. Again, the guttering, all of it, they have the water where it's moving away from the house, which is of concern for home inspectors. Your rear deck looks pretty good. No significant issues that's jumping out at me. Again, they got the water running from underneath the deck out into the yard. Now there is an issue here from the back deck that would want to be addressed as well. And that is that this siding here has been cracked. It looks like they have tried to fix it by putting some spongy stuff in there, but they didn't do a very good job. So that would be something, again, that we would want to have addressed if we move forward with this particular property. We would want to have that. Here's your HVAC unit. Looks pretty good. It's a Champion heat. And guys, when you do a home inspection, they'll give you the age of this. Depending on the age, we may want to make a recommendation to have that serviced. So that way at least you know it's been recently serviced. So the same thing here under this window. Again, the siding has been punctured, and again, they put that spushy stuff in there to try to fix it. So again, you keep seeing water is being diverted away from the house. So, and then here is where I first walked up to there. So, so your backyard does continue to go back there. So what I did learn is there's a creek back there. So I'm going to head back there, kind of walk back there for you guys. They kind of keep a path mode back there so that you can get to the creek. Obviously, the closer you get to the creek, that does become a flood zone area. The house and so forth is not in a flood zone, so you don't have to worry about obtaining flood insurance for the property. But as you go back the property, it does require, you are in a flood zone the further you get back. So I don't know how much of concern that is for you guys, but again, as you walk back here, as you can see, they've mowed a nice path, and you just have a wooded area, and they keep some things mowed back here. So again, it can be very easily cleaned out and maintained. Over here's a bunch of little ferns. So as I'm walking, I do want to answer one of your questions about the earnest money deposit. If I'm interpreting your question right, and I hope I am, you said that you have as much as 2.5% to put down. We typically do 1% or less. So if you went in at full asking price on this property, which we would certainly talk about pricing before we did that, if this was a property that you wanted to put an offer in, I would not go more than 1%. So if you went in full asking price at the $350, that would be $3,500. I would not go in with an earnest money deposit higher than $3,500 on this property. And that gets fully credited back to you at settlement. So what happens with that money is you would pay Long and Foster whatever the agreed upon price would be. And we would hold it in an escrow account for you. And if the property went to closing / settlement, then you would be credited that money. And so an example would be if you were told, hey, I needed $2,000 or $20,000 to come with me to the settlement table, and you put down the full $3,500, then you would only need to come to the settlement table with $16,500, because then you would see that you were credited the $3,500 that you put down. So in this case, again, my max, and this is something y'all can think about, the max that I would do in all seriousness, would be $3,500. That's equivalent to the 1%. But you could probably get away with as little as $2,500. And then I think your question then pertains to what happens to that money if something happens and the property doesn't go to settlement. As long as you, as the purchasers, get out of the contract legally, which is why you're represented by a real estate agent, to make sure that that happens, then you automatically get your earnest money deposit back. We would do what's called a release, and you would sign it, the sellers would sign it, and you would get that money back. If the sellers breach the contract and don't get out, and in other words, they get out of it illegally, then you still get your money back because they breached the contract. So I'm going to pause my conversation for a second. As you can see here is a dried up creek bed. So, and your property does come all the way back here. And this may be a better picture of the creek bed here. And so you can see it has a little bit of some banks here for the water to flow. So your property does come back. So you can see there's obviously a corner of your property, because you can see the orange surveyor's tape in there. I'll kind of zoom in so you can see that. So continue with the earnest money. So if the sellers breach the contract, meaning that they were not able to legally get out from the contract, you automatically get your money back. If you breach the contract, meaning that you were not able to legally get out of the contract, then obviously the sellers get to keep your earnest money deposit. So here in Virginia, it's really a buyer beware state, and we highly recommend that you do your due diligence. I know that you're asking for recommendations on home inspectors. I will shoot that to you tonight as well, or this evening as well. My number one home inspector is Mountainside Home Inspections. The owner's name is Bruce, and he is phenomenal. He's my go-to person for home inspections. There's another guy called Chris Evers. He's with Chris Evers Home Inspections and something is the name of his company, but I can send you his information as well. He's a pretty good guy to work with as well. There's another company, First Impressions, that I've used that does a really good job. So there's several. And you, of course, just so that you know, I don't expect you guys to schedule those for yourselves, especially since you can't be here for the home inspection unless you wanted to be here for the home inspection. So I would set those up for you. You would just tell me who you wanted to use, and I would schedule that so that I could be present for you. And if you wanted to be present, then obviously we would work with your schedule to make sure that you were present as well. So hopefully that answers your question on home inspections. Hope I've answered your question on the earnest money deposit. So what I mean by buyer beware, just so that you kind of get a little information on that, is that we, being the purchasers, need to do our due diligence. So by all means, I would want you to do the home inspection. With the home inspection, if the seller accepts, which I have absolutely no reason to feel that they would not accept a home inspection contingency, then we have three options. Obviously, option one is to accept the property and continue to move forward, not asking for anything in return. Option two, guys, is to ask for a list of repairs to be done, and then we can negotiate back and forth on what those what's acceptable to you and what's acceptable to the seller. And then option three is you can just completely walk away from the contract and just saying that you did not realize the issues that the property had and that you wanted to terminate the contract, which is completely within your legal rights. So that's the first three options. If we can't come to terms with the seller on repairs, then again, you also have the right to terminate and go terminate the contract and get your earnest money deposit back. What I cannot get back for you guys is the cost of the home inspection. So if we terminate the contract off of a home inspection, then you clearly are out of the home inspection fee, which a house of this size and of this age, you're looking at roughly probably around $400 to $450. Obviously, other inspections that we could do, most people waive the lead-based paint inspection, and they don't really do that because they quit doing lead-based paint in the 1970s. And most homes have been painted since then, so lead base is under the other paint. So most people kind of waive that, but you do have the right to do that if you want. Radon is a big issue in Virginia. It's an odorless gas that could cause health issues such as lung cancer. So that may be something to consider if you wanted to do that. If it does come up high levels of radon, then they would do a recommendation to put in a radon mitigation system, which runs roughly about $1,500 to $2,000. So there's kind of those inspections. But in reality, we do any inspection that you want. We can have an HVAC person come in, whatever inspections you want, we can make happen. That's not a problem. So it does look like it was recently surveyed, so I wouldn't worry about a survey. And I'm gonna sit the phone down for a second while I lift up this basement door. And I don't know if there's a light down here, guys, because I've never been down here. But this is your basement steps. So it's actually a very tiny area down here. So you just have, look at here. Well, that light don't work. So you just have your HVAC system down here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Sorry, and it's really dark. And that's really it. It's just big enough really to accommodate the HVAC system down here. So not much more down here. The other thing Virginia does, I don't know if Florida does or not, is we do have to go with a, set the phone down again for you guys, what's called a buyer agency agreement. And so that would be basically an agreement that you all would sign, and that's allowing me as an agent to represent you through this transaction. I usually don't have you all sign those until we go to put an offer in, especially since you're relocating to the area and you're looking at other areas. So I don't want to lock you in to that just yet, but that's something to consider about. Commissions are paid by the sellers, so you all would not have to worry about paying any commission to me. The sellers take care of that, so you get representation for free, just so that you're kind of aware of that. And hang on a second, I'm gonna set the phone down again for you guys. I would have to look, be honest with you guys, I did not look to see if this was on an individual well and septic system. If it's on an individual well, then the sellers have to test the water to make sure that it's free of any bacteria and so forth. And if it has a septic system, that may be something. My concerns with those obviously would be that we would want to know when was the last time that system was pumped, and make sure that system is fully working. So We could, in all honesty, we could set up a video inspection for you guys. They run about, hang on one second. They run about $750 to $1,000 on that system, on that particular inspection. And that would include them coming out, finding your septic system, digging your septic system, and that kind of stuff. So, okay. Appraisal is something else depending on the type of loan that you qualify for. We might want to put in an appraisal contingency that the property must appraise for the purchase price, or we can come back and renegotiate that kind of the purchase price. So this is your garage. So the bottom is your garage, and then the top is an apartment. So here's the door to the apartment that goes up into the stairs. So when you enter here, so here is the garage. That's actually used to be a 2-car garage, and it looks like they've converted it to a 1-car garage, and that they made this second area what appears to be storage for the upstairs apartment. And then obviously over here you would have a one bay to park a car. So kind of give you that idea. And then as we go up the stairs, and then you have a little bit of storage here under the stairs, if you want it under the stairs. So as we go up to the apartment, so you come into the kitchen here. So now the apartment has a refrigerator and has a stove. So so we would ask for those appliances to convey. It does have tile flooring. If you come in here to the living room, so it has the ability as well to have like a wood stove or something as a backup heat. And over here you have your HVAC closet here. You have a full bath here. So you have the sink. So the sink obviously is in need of probably repair / replacement. And the toilet, I would have to go with the same. I don't know if it just needs a really good cleaning or replacement. And then the floor is just stick down floor that honestly probably needs to be replaced as well. The floors up here obviously could use probably a sanding and a restaining. And this may be, again, some of the dark stuff he was talking about. And to be honest with you, that just looks like where they've had trim. Maybe they had carpet down before or something, and trim work laid on the floor there. Here's the bedroom. Again, pretty significant staining of the floor. So you have the windows here are older. So you have your electrical panel for your garage apartment. Sorry. And then you have a closet. So going again, guys, I don't see a door that shows what we saw in those pictures in reference to the possibility of urine staining to a door. So I'm not sure where that was. I can go back and look at the pictures before I leave and see if I can get a better understanding. But again, it might have been replaced or repaired by now as well. So I think I've answered all the questions on your list, and I think I've answered most of the questions that you've emailed me in reference to escrow, home inspection, so forth. For title settlement, I am a big component about using an attorney to settle. They're not really, honestly, they're about the same cost as if we just use a regular settlement agent that's not an attorney. The advantage to having an attorney is if anything comes up, title defects, questions about the contract, and so forth, you already are represented by an attorney. So it's just really a matter of me reaching out to that attorney and saying, hey, this is what we are encountering. And the attorney then can immediately weigh in on options to resolve that. I use Allen and Carwell in Waynesboro as my go-to attorney, Fran Gomez, but there are others as well, and I will include that in my email this evening, like Poindexter, Hill, Miller, Levon, things like that, or other attorneys that we can use. But Fran Gomez is my number one attorney that I use for settlement. So anyway, I will get this uploaded to YouTube and get this shot over to you guys and follow up with a phone call. And thank you all for allowing me to do this, and I look forward to speaking with you all in detail. Thanks.